Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in today. This is Modelcarnick, and I have a Minichamps Jaguar XK for you guys today. And obviously it's finished in this really stunning gloss red finish, and it's got silver wheels on black interior. So let's kind of go over this model. I purchased this about a few months ago for $65, which at the time I thought was a phenomenal price. But looking back at it, this model's main competitors are mostly just from Auto Art. I think is the only one that has made the Jaguar XK, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it now. Go ahead and try to get the Auto Art one instead of the Minichamps one, and you'll see some of the reasons why. But just not to waste any of your time, go ahead and get the Auto Art model if you're still trying to debate which one that you're interested in. So let's start at the front of the vehicle. As you can see, the headlights, they look really fine. I would say these headlights from the time are pretty basic, compared to some of the newer headlights on new cars. There's just not too much more detail to be had in the headlights, so it looks fairly decent. Looking down here, there's some fog lights, and then in the front of the car, as you can see, there's kind of a fake grille behind there. And the Jaguar logo, which looks pretty decent. But yeah, there's I feel like that should be real mesh. I'm sure on the Auto Art one it might be. Don't take my word for it because I've never had one or seen one, but I would just assume that's mesh on the Auto Art model. So that's potentially a reason why you'd get that over this one. But yeah, let's take a look at the hood, and this is a fully opening model, so don't take that don't think that this Minichamps doesn't have it, because a lot of the new Minichamps don't have opening features anymore, so this is kind of a rarity for this brand. So I'll go ahead and open up the engine bay, and the engine bay is interesting because it opens up in backwards, so it doesn't open up the normal direction, as you can see. But let's take a look at the engine bay and see if I can point out some of the details for you. So as you can see, honestly, a not really great looking engine bay, but it does go down a decent amount compared to some of the other models I might see. But there's not really too much going on in there. Obviously the 8-cylinder engine, and you can kind of see some of the caps and whatnot for the fluids in the car, but nothing really too special going on under here. The back of the hood, has some bolts and things. I don't really know, but they got some of the detail on that, which is nice. But kind of a mid-tier engine bay, if I do say so myself. But the feeling of the model, some of it's plastic, the hood is metal, as you can hear. The glass around it is kind of just that really plasticky glass, but it's held up decently well over time. I'm not too sure when this model came out originally, so excuse me for that, but I think this came out a while ago, and it has held up pretty decently. So moving down to the side of the model, let's take a look at these wheels. They are like a 5-spoke kind of design, but yeah, the finish on them looks really good. The paint is really nice. They have the brake calipers and rotors back there, but there's nothing special going on. They're not drilled or slotted, and the front brake caliper up here is absolutely tiny. I mean, I hope the real car is not like that, or you're probably not gonna have enough stopping power. So that's interesting. That I think that detail is probably messed up a little bit, but we'll keep moving on. So there's some interesting features of this car, and I think one of the best things is this little side vent right here. There's nothing really too much going on behind there, but it's kind of just breaks up the lines a little bit. You will note that kind of the window seal is a little scratched up, I think. That's kind of unfortunate, but this was such a cheap model, I thought, that's not really anything too much to worry about. But the doors do open, and I'll show you that at the end of the video, so bear with me and we'll get to that. The back wheel looks pretty decent. Same thing with the brake calipers and rotors. Interesting, I think there's bigger brake calipers in the back than there are in the front, so that's kind of an interesting detail. But yeah, so we'll keep moving on. There's chrome surrounding the window, and the mirrors themselves look fairly decent. Nothing really too much going on with those. So at the very rear of the model, I think they emulated the lines pretty good. As you can see, that rear wheel arch looks pretty good. Pretty wide hips on this car, so we'll keep moving on with the video. So back here, there's a pretty large rear window glass that looks really nice. I think this glass is probably better quality than the rest of the cars. It just feels a little bit thicker. But over here we have kind of a rear spoiler that's body color matched, and there's a little tail light behind there. But the rear taillights themselves, you know, again, nothing really too special, but I think they broke up the red and the silver pretty nicely, and I would say they look pretty good. And on the rear of the trunk lid, there's a Jaguar, you know, writing in chrome right across, and I think it comes across pretty nicely. Obviously the XK badge and a little keyhole right there, which is kind of nice. This car features dual tipped exhaust, and they are finished in kind of a chrome, and they look really good. I think they go down. You can kind of see the insides of them, but you know, not really a problem. They look pretty good for tailpipes on a model car. This rear hatch does open up, so this car is kind of a hatchback, as you can see. So honestly, it's really nice. It's interesting because there's kind of like a yellow surrounding the inside of the car, and I'm wondering if that's just the color of the headliner, because the interior is black, so that's kind of a weird thing that they did. But yeah, nothing really too crazy. I do like the little trunk floor designs, but just a lot of plastic back here, so again, nothing really too special. I would want to see what the Auto Art one looks like. I wonder if they put like felt on the floor, but you know, I think this does look pretty cool. No real issues with it. So I'll go ahead and close that up, and we'll move on to the interior of the car. So I will say one thing I have noticed, you got to be careful with these doors because they're kind of frameless, right? But when you close them all the way, they kind of have a snap to them, and they don't always sit the right way. So just make sure you close them all the way, because sometimes this window gets caught on the top of the roof line. So taking a look at the interior, let's see, like I said, it's all black, and they have some nice details in there, like some kind of brushed aluminum around the dashboard and the doors themselves. You know, nothing really too crazy on there, but you have all the buttons and everything, the speaker grills. And so yeah, just kind of a pretty basic interior. Obviously this is a really strict 2-seat car, so the back seats, you know, you can see what you can in there, but honestly you're not really getting to see all the detail back there, even if there is any. I'm not too sure. But the dashboard itself looks like it has some things on the gauge cluster, but just a pretty basic looking interior, but pretty nice details in there. One huge drawback is this car does not have carpeted floors. As you can see, if you can, I know it's just really black in there, but it's just all plastic. So that is unfortunate. I think that's a huge missed opportunity, and something that I'm almost positive that the Auto Art version, that this one does not. So that might be another reason to pick it up. I forgot to mention that there is kind of a stripe on the seat. That does look pretty decent, so nice little detail on there. I'm not too sure if it's in the back because I can't see it that well, but yeah. And like I said, the door kind of catches sometimes, so you just got to be careful about that. But yeah, this is the Jaguar XK by Minichamps, and I think, you know, it's a pretty decent model, but I would say just probably go ahead and get the Auto Art one. I know they make a convertible of this model as well, so that might be another interest to you guys. But you know, the Minichamps one, if you can get it for a decent price, then I would recommend you pick it up. But really, I don't think this car is worth much more than what I paid for it. I think you can pick up a really nice Auto Art example sometimes for $90 to $100, and sometimes I've seen them go for less than that. So if you can pick up an Auto Art for like 80 bucks, then I think that is money well spent compared to this Minichamps, which, you know, I picked up for 65, but I'm sure they haven't increased in value at all. So, you know, that's one thing to look out at. But yeah, overall, I think this one in particular is pretty decent. The red color I'm not a huge fan of, just because I think it looks really weird on this big car. But yeah, I think the scale of it looks really nice, as you can see right next to a Bentley Continental and an S-Class, you know, and an R8. It fits right in between. It looks proportionally correct, so that is a huge bonus of this car. But yeah, so enough of me rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, and please subscribe if you're not already, and we'll show you some more model cars here in the future. And one last thing, I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers, so I'm saying if we get there, I will do a full collection video, and I have about $12,000 worth of model cars, so I think that'd be cool to show you guys. So yeah, get me to 200 and I'll see you on that next video. All right, take it easy.